The Great American Songbook. Not a real book, but a term originally applying to songs from Broadway musical theater, Hollywood movie musicals, and Tin Pan Alley. These songs became a sort of unofficial canon, particularly for jazz musicians. The works originally covered a time period roughly spanning 1920 to 1960, but as time marches ever onward, the time period for the Great American Songbook expands. Quote, I wanted to make an album where I just sang, and what better music to work with than the Great American Songbook of the 60s and 70s, said Bruce Springsteen. Springsteen's new album, Only the Strong Survive, is a cover album that focuses on soul music of the 60s and 70s. Several singles were released before the album's November release date, including the subject of today's episode, a song originally performed in 1962 by American soul and R&B singer Ben E. King. The song was co-written by Ahmet Ertegun, founder of Atlantic Records, along with King's wife, Betty Nelson, though some suspect King used his wife's name as a pseudonym. Regardless of who wrote it, the song was a hit both in America, where it hit number 2 on the R&B charts and number 11 on the pop charts, and in Italy, where it hit number 10 on the charts. Like any other Great American Songbook tune, it has been covered countless times, with an Aretha Franklin version breathing new life into the song in 1970, with her cover featuring on her 19th studio album, Spirit in the Dark. From King to Franklin to Springsteen in 2022, this song continues to get played, despite the title's insistence otherwise. That's right, we're talking Don't Play That Song, brackets You Lied, by Ben E. King on Cover Me.
Darling, I love you. You know that you lie. Darling, I love you. You know that you lie. Darling, I love you. You know that you lie. Whoa, you lie. Whoa, you lie. Whoa, whoa.
That's right, it's Cover Me, the only podcast that compares famous songs to their many cover versions to find out which one was only 17. I'm your host, as always, The Snake, joined by my darling co-host,
Alex Mildenberger.
Alex Mildenberger, you sweet, sweet boy.
Yeah,
How are you?
I haven't been at 17 for years.
Yeah, for 12
It
years.
was a long ass time.
Yeah.
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 Anyway.
Hi, so
yeah.
does that fill you with dread,
Does it
joy?
fill me with dread? Joy. Wasn't a fan of being 17, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm over
I wasn't
it.
up to much when I
I'm
was
over
17.
being 17.
That's good, Alex.
Yeah.
That's great. You doing good? Things are good over in the Windy City?
Yeah. The wind has died down, so that's nice.
Just the city now.
Yeah, it's just a city. Generally. I went top rope climbing first time.
Top rope climb.
This week. It just means there's a rope that is like there's a pulley at the top, and you climb up a wall, and like you're attached to a rope, which is like fairly standard. But I'd only gone bouldering before, which is no rope.
Yeah,
but you don't climb as high because it's dangerous.
Because there's no rope.
Because there's no rope, exactly. So that was cool.
That is cool, Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? What's going on in the less windy city?
The less windy city. That is what it's known as here. It's just cold here. Cold for Vancouver.
Yeah.
So not that cold. Just chilling, just hanging out, just clocking in, clocking out, making that money. On my grind, as they say.
Yep. That's the grind set.
That is the grind set.
I think
who won't get off his grind set? No, go ahead. What are you saying?
No, I just said I think that's the grind set. That was.
Oh, you think that? I thought that was an I think leading. Won't get off his grind, Alex. Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, he's like 73 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to check his age.
He's old. He's old, brother. He's an old guy. Did you listen to the new cover album, Alex?
Not as much of it as I wanted to because Spotify fucked up because I like put it on and said, "Hey, play this album for me." Spotify, and it said, "Cool, you want me to play the first 3 songs and then loop them continuously?" And then I never got back to it. I just went on a car ride where I was like, well, I guess I'll listen to these 3 songs on repeat then.
Why does Spotify do that? It's done that to me a couple of times.
I feel it constantly has different issues. I still can't see like other people on my friend activity. I have one person left on my friend activity. It's a person I did a group project with like 8 years ago.
Nice.
And I don't know why I can't see anyone's friend activity. And the only advice online is like tell them to let other people see my group activity on. But I don't think everyone has it off.
No, it seems like that would be silly. I'll tell you this, I can see you. You're actually the only one I see on my friend activity.
Well, I have definitely enabled my friend activity. I have
Good on
checked
you.
many
you're
times.
An enabler. Hell yeah, Alex. Next topic of discussion here, Alex.
Yeah.
Ben E. King. You heard of him?
Yeah, no. I was not familiar with the artist name, but I believe he also did Stand By Me, which is a big deal.
Yeah, that's his big one.
But yeah, I wouldn't have known the artist by name for sure.
No, it's a name I knew. I've heard the name Benny King before, but
Benjamin Earl King.
is it actually Earl?
Yeah.
Cool. Good for him.
According to this. Although,
yeah, he's an American soul and R&B singer. Hey, how about Ahmet Erdogan? Do you know him?
No, never heard of that guy, but he sounds like a big deal.
Yeah, he's Turkish-American businessman, songwriter, record exec, and philanthropist. And also wrote songs. So he wrote this song along with either King's wife or King. It's unclear.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. I guess you do that to give royalties, right?
Yeah, to kind of ensure that they're going to be taken care of, I guess.
Yeah.
And he founded Atlantic Records. So we talked about what was last week for us. It'll be 2 weeks ago for listeners on Sweet Jane, which is the company that was like, you guys got to load this thing with hits.
Yeah, load it up. But Atlantic Records has done so much music over the years.
Yeah,
it's insane. It's just a huge company.
Yeah, and then also Erdogan did a lot of work to establish better relations between Turkey and the United States.
Which I don't know how that's going right now, but cool. Oh, the other thing, looking at his Wikipedia page, I always am amused when I see this kind of thing, is it shows born in the Ottoman Empire.
Right.
And yeah, so that's amusing because he was born in the early 20th century. Or,
you know what, Alex? You might not know Benny King by name here. I'm looking at my notes again. Are you familiar with a group called the Drifters?
Oh, yeah, I think I've heard of them.
Yeah, so he's one of the lead singers of the Drifters.
Yes, which is cool. And I don't think we talked about the Drifters, and I don't think he did the Drifters song we talked about.
Okay.
But he did do Save the Last Dance for Me.
Okay.
Which that's a big deal.
That's a classic.
Yeah,
that's a big deal. Yeah, speaking of classics, Alex, the Great American Songbook. You familiar with this?
I'm familiar with the concept. I've never read it. Yeah, it's a really amusing concept, or it's a really interesting concept because it's like our modern conceptualization of what you might call just the musical canon.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of songs that people have decided are good, and therefore we also want to play them. And that's how folk music worked, but it was informal, It was just the songs that people decided to pass on. So in a lot of ways, it's that, right?
Yeah, truly, it's an informal thing given a formal name, right?
Yeah.
Because there is no actual record of it.
Book, and there's songs we consider these songs to be this or something, but just based on there's a bunch of recordings of it, and now we can actually see that, and there's a record of recordings. But at the time we've been these are the songs we learned because we learned them from the people we know, kind of thing.
Yeah. And looking at the album Bruce Springsteen put together and was this is the American Songbook of the 60s and 70s. I recognized one track off of his album here, What Becomes of the Brokenhearted. Nothing else. All of this is new to me.
Yeah, I don't know if I recognize any of these.
Oh, so is it, and it seems to be a jazz tradition that stems from Broadway and theater. So.
True. Yeah, it's big in jazz. I mean, that's kind of where the idea of a jazz standard evolved from. And then you either borrow from those or build off of them or whatever. And lots of forms of music do that. And especially in folk traditions, I would say.
Yeah, I will say with these songs in particular, because I basically we're doing this song because it features on this Bruce Springsteen album.
Yeah.
Rather than talking about a whole album, we're doing one track. This was maybe the 5th or 6th song off the album I tried to make a playlist for, because I was okay, we'll do the one I know. We'll do What Becomes the Brokenhearted. And it's okay, every single version sounds the same. Like everyone is hugging close to the same beats and notes, and like it is. So there's like in this Great American Songbook, there are tons and tons of covers, sure, but in some ways it's like the covers we dislike the most on this show, where they cling so closely to that original version, where they're like, this is how it's done, this is how you play it, this is me playing it. And it's like, it makes it very tough to make a playlist for the show.
Yeah, I think it's another sort of interplay between the old way and the new way, if that makes sense. Because the old way, you didn't necessarily have a recording, especially going back even further, you know? Music had to be live.
So there was something to be preserved in that live performance.
So, like, you don't need to change it because, like, oh, I love this song. No one's doing what we're doing, you know? No one's analyzing it and all that. It's like, oh, hey, they performed this song pretty well, and I am familiar with the concept of this song. I have it in my head. Maybe I know to sing along. Versus more modern concept of a song as like a commercial product, which is really what I mean. As much as I maybe don't like to say it, in a lot of ways, how we approach it, we're like, why would you record this? Why would you sell this? You know?
Yeah,
We've said that kind of thing before. Whereas, like, oh, the idea is you're trying to create a unique product. But I think there's more value to it beyond, you know, the capitalistic value, but at the uniqueness. But that could be viewed as where it comes from.
Yeah, that's you've touched on something interesting, sort of the idea of keeping a song alive for the sake of that song, rather the more modern perspective, using a song to sell yourself or sell your product.
Yeah, exactly. So
interesting, yeah.
We have, I think, both of those on this playlist, and a lot of the songs you looked at, sounds like were examples of that too. So
yeah, so that's the kind of stuff we're dealing with today. Let's talk about these lyrics, Alex.
Yeah, but what's the actual song about? Yeah,
what's it about, bro? Hey, I mean, you know, don't play. You know the Kid Cudi song? Don't play this song.
I actually don't know that song.
Oh my god, Alex. But like between this, don't play that song, don't play this song. What am I supposed to play, Alex? That's a little joke I wrote for you.
We're just gonna have to stop listening to music, I guess.
Both pretty good songs though. So this song, pretty simple. It's from 1962, folks. It's an easy concept. I like it though. I like this song. What do you think about this song?
Sorry, I'm just looking. Yeah, I don't know Man in the Moon 2 like at all.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
See, I borrowed Man in the Moon 1 from you, and then Man in the Moon 2 got stuck in your car, and your car got trashed.
That's right. The old Dodge Stratus. Yes.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I never borrowed Man in the Moon 2 from you.
Okay, so you never heard the sequel.
I mean, I could listen to it, but anyway, sorry, I'm getting off topic. You said something else.
Did you like this song? Don't play that song.
This song, yeah. I mean, it's got that classic feeling to it. I can see why people like it and why it's survived, why it's strong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even in its simplicity, when we talk about the music, we'll talk about, you know, some of the basic things it does. But I think there's some cool little ideas in there that get played out.
We've talked about songs from this era, and there's oftentimes like a purity of just like idea, where you. It's just really reinforcing this, you know, it's this one's more like in someone's head, and all of their actions are just trying to convey a very specific thing.
Yeah, the title is the idea, and every like line is in support of that idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's very efficiently built. So it begins, don't play it no more, don't play it no more, don't play it no more. No.
Yeah, and I didn't like how Genius had it laid out. Maybe I used a weird page, because sometimes they have multiple pages for a single song, but it was like, this is a chorus, and also didn't label anything else, and it has like chorus in brackets later, but like, I don't know why.
But yeah, by its own admission, the chorus is everything up to that point of the next chorus.
Yeah, so it's very strange. But I don't think it's a chorus, just an intro.
Yeah, it's an intro.
But it is also the more or less the title of the song, and what we'll find is that this is kind of there's a song that reminds the narrator of a relationship.
Yeah. Don't play that song for me. It brings back memories
Yeah.
of days that I once knew, the days I spent with you.
There it is. That's right there.
There it is.
Yeah.
I guess worth noting in there, like you said, yeah, it brings back memories of a past relationship. The fact that he says the days I spent with you seems to suggest that the person, he is in a scenario where he is with this person at the moment.
He's talking to them.
He's talking to him.
I guess so.
Or that he's just like, you know, in the more dramatic sense, like soliloquizing and talking to them, but they're not actually there.
Yeah. And I feel like you could say both, and the big important reason to say you is for the rhyme more than
That's true. Yeah, the
anything
days I
else.
once knew, the days I spent with you.
Yeah. That's my feeling.
Yeah.
But
It
like
could also speak to like they're meeting again, and this person who left him before is like trying to re-spark the relationship, or
And
it
he's
could like I
saying,
kind of just picture him in
"It
like
hurts
a
too much."
bar or something, and him just being, or like at home and the radio's playing it, and he's just kind of like, oh fuck, don't play this. Like,
yeah, or I mean the idea of like the song being a metaphor for like doing something. So playing the song again is like, I don't want to go there and do that again. Like I don't want to.
Yeah.
Like maybe they are saying, "Hey, let's get back together," and then he's saying like, "No, I can't. It'd be too painful. It's too painful the first time."
Right. I think it might be more literal, just given the
It does feel more literal.
the actual chorus and how that is represented in the song as well. I think really
True.
touches on that. Like, please don't put that song on. But you're right, it could be it, because there's like, oh, there's that old tune again. People will say when you're busting out some old
like
chestnut.
second verse, same as the first, like just doing the same thing twice.
You're doing the same thing again, exactly. So that holds merit.
Yeah.
We come to this. Oh no, don't let it play. Fills my heart with pain. Please stop it right away. I remember just what it said. Just what it said. Pardon me.
Just what it
Just
said. Yeah. Well, how about that? I mean, it's a little more of the same, right? Asking,
Yeah.
don't want to play the song, a little more detail on the pain, but then like just begging to not do that anymore, not bring the memories up. But he remembers it, like
Yeah, he remembers it so clearly that it's like it's embedded in his brain. This is like a song about PTSD in some sense.
yeah.
Where it's like it's so ingrained in me. Like, please do not bring it up. It is going to be more painful than what is already what I have in here, which is just the very sharp memory.
So, what is it?
It's it.
It's it. But what is it?
What is it?
Like he says, I remember just what it said.
Mm-hmm.
Is he talking about the song? Does he mean like that's what the song meant to us? Or is it one of those like old school, like I read your letter kind of thing? Is that a
think
song
it
I
is.
sang? I don't think so. That's not real.
I got your picture. Different. I think it is literally because it is what the song said, and it is literally what this theoretically imaginary song, but like the phrase is "Darling, I love you." As we get it, he says it said "Darling, I love you," and to get into the actual musicality of it, it's sang by backing vocalists. It's not sang by him.
True.
Which
So,
seems
like, that's
to serve
the lyrics
as like
of the song.
yeah, like that. Literally, it going "Darling, I love you" is the memory of the song, simultaneously being also the memory of what this lover said to him.
Right. They're mirroring, and then I guess that makes it more of a connection, because obviously you can say like, oh, this one song reminds me of a person because you were listening to it with them or something, but like that could be any song theoretically. Like it could be a song about a giant armadillo or whatever. I think
Right.
that exists. But but yeah, if the song is a love song and you then associate the relationship with the feelings in the song, it becomes a little stronger.
Yeah. And like easy, simple statement could be from 100 fucking songs, and it's something that a person would have said to him, as like this lover would have said, "Yeah, darling, I love you." And
Yeah.
so then he says, it said, "Darling, I love you. You know that you lied. Darling, I love you. You know that you lied. Darling, I love you. You know that you lied. Whoa, you lied. Whoa, you."
Whoa, you lied.
And also those woes, I think, play into the concept of the backing vocals being the memory of the the song itself, this other song, where it's like those woes are also from
definitely. That.
Yeah,
that's a. I like that observation because it does separate it a bit, makes it sound like it's part of his memory. But he's like, but you lied.
Yeah, exactly. So in like you said, we're kind of like in his brain.
Yeah, it almost feels like that should be a direct pull from another song kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't see that referenced anywhere.
No, you're right. If this was made today, it would be a sample of a song.
But anyway.
Alex, is there a reason you sent me a Wikipedia link to Tarkus?
Yeah, that's the Armadillo song.
Oh, okay.
Or, I mean, the album art anyway.
Yeah, I see the armadillo on the album art.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're right. Somebody could be thinking of Tarkus when they think of their lover, but here we're thinking of a song.
We're thinking of an actual love song. I actually don't technically know that Tarkus isn't a love song, but I always suspected that it wasn't.
I suspect it's more about an armadillo, but that's just based on album art alone.
Yeah.
I remember on our first date, you kissed me and you walked away. So we've moved on here. You kissed me and you walked away. You were only 17. I never thought you'd act so mean.
Yeah, we discussed this a couple weeks ago, didn't we?
With my Sharona.
The like weird obsession of like popular musicians and weird obsession. How do I say this? They're weirdly obsessed with 17-year-old, usually women. Not always.
Yes,
I mean,
not always.
Actually, I'm thinking of saw you standing there by the record machine. Knew you must have been about 17. That's
right.
That's Joan Jett. I mean, I think she's talking about. I'm trying to remember if there's. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
The Beatles too. She was just 17.
You know what I mean? No, I don't.
I don't.
I mean, I kind of do, but it has been like almost 60 years. So if you could clarify a bit, like.
Yeah, just a touch.
But yeah, it's that I mean, I kind of get it because you grow up in it, and it's like, okay, there's some reason that they consider seducing, just some air quotes there, young women to be a good thing.
Yeah, and this one you could take it because he doesn't specify his age here. Benny
That's
King
true.
himself
They could both be very young.
They could both be very young. I guess the real intention of the 17 here is that there seems to be this idea.
That's true. We did this too a couple weeks ago. We got off topic, but no, I think I know. I shouldn't interrupt you because you're talking.
But you think you know where I'm going? Where it's like because he said because it couples with I never thought you'd act so mean, which is like. You're so young and like sweet at that age while still being
I guess
age, I guess.
I guess in all these examples, that's kind of the point is that they're 17, therefore they're like just old enough that it's not that weird, especially if it's the 60s. But also they have this air of innocence in the public, in the I'm going to say collective unconscious. Like, that was the idea.
Yeah,
that was the image.
That's the idea. Which is,
Yeah.
Like
so
also young,
it just feels weird.
Still fine, but, like, you imagine you're only 17. I never thought you'd act so mean coming from, like, Benny King was 22 when this came out, or even, like, 25 if we're going, like, my Sharona age gap. That's a little bit fucked up to be like, well, I was targeting 17-year-olds because I thought they would be nicer to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the kind of line that sounds weird.
That is a predatory line.
Or the sort of like you have your disclaimer before the Disney short kind of deal. Or
yeah, it's like back in these days.
There were different times and people thought things differently. So just watch this and don't get mad at us on the internet.
Yeah,
or whatever.
It's like you have to understand we were at war with the Japanese. And you're like,
yeah, okay.
Okay.
I guess. Feel like you went a few steps too far, but anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, how do we reconcile this line? I guess we just hope it's not sinister.
Yeah, I mean that's the idea though, right? He says like, "Oh, we went on this date. It was like very nice, like, but they like left." Where I say it's very nice, it doesn't seem very nice at all. Like he was not expecting this 17-year-old to be the one who left. He's like, I'm supposed to have the power in this relationship, but I don't.
Yeah, I guess. And so, yeah, that's maybe your other like positive interpretations. Like the 17-year-old is actually the one in power here.
Yeah.
She decides to kiss him and then she walks away from it on her terms. But again, that's me giving a lot of leeway to a song from 1962.
Yeah.
I do like in later versions, like when we hit the Aretha Franklin version, she changes it to I was only 17.
Yeah, changes the perspective. And I mean, I guess I'm trying to think if this is like in any way trying to like subvert anything, and it's like, the woman was actually the one who left.
Right? Yeah, if it's some kind of
like is that like a girl power thing?
Maybe. It also depends.
It's hard to tell out of context.
Yeah, and it's hard. Like, was this co-written by King's wife or was it co-written by King? That's another
true
question. That's another coin toss. So who knows? But yeah, there's your second verse, describing the scenario that brought pain. We understand the song brings him pain. Here's why. Boom. Hit the chorus again.
Did we read the "But baby, you told me you loved me" part?
Oh yeah, he said, "Darling, I love you," but baby, you lied. "Darling, I love you."
It's not in the Genius lyrics.
Oh no!
You told me you loved me. You told me you cared. You said, "I'll go with you, darling, almost anywhere." Wait, is that in the song?
That is, that's in the first verse, isn't it? Oh no, is it?
I'm on a different website because I think it has the full lyrics. Now I'm second guessing this.
It's at the end of the Genius one.
Yeah, I feel like Genius kind of swapped things around a little bit. I didn't like it. Let me just
but we do get something in that. So that verse, I think we're reading the same one here, is "Go on and hurt me, baby. Do what you will, but baby, you told me you loved me. You told me you cared. You said, I'll go with you, darling, almost anywhere. But darling, you know that you lied. Is that how it reads on the site you're reading from too?
Yeah, you told me you loved me. You told me you cared. You said, I'll go with you, darling, almost anywhere. But baby, you know that you lied.
Yeah. I'm more interested in just before that, where he says, "Go on and hurt me, baby. Do what you will. But baby, you told me you loved me." So there's this idea there where he's like, it is okay to cause me pain, but the fact that you like set me up for a fall by telling me you loved me first is what hurts. Is the real damage.
Yeah, I feel like there must be a few versions of this where the lyrics are swapped around or something.
Right.
Something like that.
But
anyway, those are the words, though.
Those are the words. Yeah, he was told something by a lady one time, and she lied to him, and now he can't listen to the hit song "Darling, I Love You." Brackets, whoa.
Yeah. Oh, I actually like that part. We'll talk about that, I'm sure, possibly right now.
Right now, yes. First thing to note. That bass line, who is Ben E. King's bassist? Because he's a fucking con artist.
Because it's just a different Benny King song.
It's just a less dynamic version of the "Stand By Me" bass line.
Yeah, that's weird. That's one of the... I don't know how that happened. Yeah. Like, hey,
2 tracks! The same
it's not like it's a sequel or anything, I don't think. Because sometimes they'll do that. They'll be like, this is Peggy Sue 2 or whatever, and like there's
right.
I actually don't know how similar those are, but the point is, or like a response song or something, and then they'll use like a common riff or something like that. But yeah, it's like, my other hit from like a year ago or whatever. Like, let's just do that again. Bum 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 bum. And like most of the covers don't use that for a couple of reasons. One of them is probably like people nowadays, especially, would be like, wait a minute, they're just playing "Stand By Me."
Yeah, and I wonder if it was just like again, this sort of Great American Songbook style, like just a staple of the era, where it's like, oh yeah, you can bust out the bum 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 bum.
Yeah, or like he's like, it's just some song that my boss and my wife wrote together.
Yeah, he's like, here, just knock that bass line out again, and we'll
put it out.
I'm just gonna sing over it because it is a lot of vocals on this more so than anything else.
That's true. Yeah, and there's so many versions of this song too. Apparently. Otis Redding has a version. John Lennon has a version. Muhammad Ali. I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. You're saying these ones, and I'm like, fuck, I didn't do a good job on my research.
Like anyway. But yeah, it's very vocal focused.
Yes.
And of course, yeah, shares that bass line. It's weird. Oh, man. But yes, it does open with that bass line, and there's like a shaker
Yeah.
kind of sound.
And then like very light drum tapping.
Yeah, some like hi-hat, or maybe snare with brushes.
Yeah, something
Like that.
super
Or maybe
gentle.
hi-hat with brushes.
Hi-hat with brushes. I believe that. And then
sounds
like
brushy.
your classic, just like one guitar sting per bar or per line.
Mhm.
You're like, all right, there's
Yeah,
guitar
it's like
here.
very muted. So
Yeah.
really, really quick.
And then strings to kind of fill out the space.
Just a little bit, though.
Just a touch.
Well, especially at the start. Sounds, and of
Mhm.
course, it's 1962, so it's probably just like on the other side of the room kind of thing.
Yeah.
Limited recording tracks. So it's got that sound to it, but it's a little more together than like that Cricket song we talked about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's a couple months ago now.
That was.
And then, yeah, see, I was like writing down, like, according to Genius, this is the chorus again, but it doesn't make any sense. So I have to skip by some of that stuff because Genius is not being a genius this week. Genius.
Genius.
What else happens here, man? Backup vocals.
Backup vocals. They're
That's
great.
a big thing for me because I mean they set up this like rhythm which mostly stays like pretty constant, bum bum, pretty constant, bum 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 bum. And it's like, that's Stand By Me. Yeah, that's with Will Wheaton's in that.
Yeah.
I've never seen Stand By Me. You seen Stand By Me?
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times. I just watched it maybe a year or two ago.
Oh, jeez.
We watched it in a grade 10 like religion class or something.
Oh. Don't think I watched in religion class.
Okay.
What did I watch in religion class? I watched Brian's Song. Did you watch Brian's Song?
No, I did not watch Brian's Song.
The remake. Anyway, let's not get into it.
Let's not get into that.
It's probably best if we don't get into that.
Yeah,
What's the rest? Like, actually, the chorus. I do like the back and forth on the chorus. Now, we already talked about that. Like, it sounds like he's kind of responding to an existing song. Darling, I love you. You know that you lied. But I really do like right at the end there, because it gets a little faster. They do that like, whoa, you know that you lied. Whoa. Not quite that timing that I did. But it's like quicker and it kind of speeds up. So, you kind of compress things in time, which always makes it feel like, oh, we're picking up now. What's next? And
it's a way of like
chorus.
Yeah, like it builds up. And like we said, it's a very vocal piece. So you got Benny King singing this whole time.'s got a great voice. He's got some performance behind him. You told me you love me.
Yeah.
You told me you can. Like
he's selling it.
Classic.
I guess, I mean, I can only describe it as soul and R&B in the 1960s.
Yeah, in the 1960s.
So, fucking A, man.
Yeah, and like his sort of pain vocals are contrasted by the more dreamy backing vocals on that chorus. Darling, I love you.
So there's like several women, it sounds like.
Yes.
And then, okay, so what happens for a bit? There's like a little string section. Very high-pitched strings. One of the nice things about it is we can actually hear the strings. It doesn't just sound like they're across the room.
Yeah.
But it's also like that old school, like you hear it in opening credits to movies, high-pitched strings.
Yes.
Just because, I don't know, recording technology, once again. It's got to come into it.
I just realized that fucking string section, pretty damn similar to Stand By Me as well.
Does that happen to Stand By Me also?
Yeah. I'm not.
Okay, so this is basically just Stand By Me again, but they put different lyrics on it.
But they put different lyrics in.
Which, like, fair enough, I guess. If you're going to sample anyone, sample yourself.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Pay yourself royalties. You've earned
Stand By Me too. : don't play that song. Brackets.
Brackets. You lied.
You lied.
But yeah, there is that instrumental section. I can't believe that.
Ripped himself off, man. Does he have to pay himself royalties now? What?
Yeah, he's got to give himself a cut.
He's also ad-libbing here, like title ad-libbing, or it sounds like it.
You
He's just
know
saying,
that
like,
you
that you
lied.
lied. But like he could do that at any point, and like it'd be or not do it. It wouldn't make a difference.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's such easy lines to chuck it anywhere. Don't play it no
Yeah.
more. You know that you lied. Like it's good hooks, basically.
Yeah.
Vocal hooks.
Excuse me.
Oh yeah, he does a really good up where he go, baby, please.
Yeah. No, he sounds nice. Sounds good. It's that.
Yeah,
It's
great
got this
vocal
real like
performance.
classic sheen to it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
That old school, like we talked about the Drifters a while back, and it's like similar sound, which obviously he
Yeah.
was a member of the Drifters as well for a while, which we talked about on the Drifters episode has changed substantially in its membership over the years.
Oh yeah. Classic Drifters.
Yeah, a lot of the song, like the build, comes from his performance, but also like the volume gets louder, basically. Like
yeah,
which-
we get like that instrumental swelling.
yeah, which I say that, but it's like they're playing louder or harder or whatever.
Mhm.
Because I'm sure they had like maybe a 2-track recorder kind of deal.
Yeah.
It was
I would
62,
imagine.
so
62.
I don't think they had much in the way of 4-track recording machines.
Nope, but they did have a lot in the way of soul and R&B, baby.
Oh, they did.
They did. Yeah, no, great vocal performance.
Hmm.
You know what? I like Stand By Me too, so great instrumentals.
Yeah, yeah. Why not?
Yeah, it kind of does it for the original though. We're gonna move into these covers hot and fast, starting
Yeah.
with a cover in the same year, all the way over in Italy by Peppino di Capri.
Darling, I love you. You know that you lie. Darling, I love you. You know that you lie. Darling, I love you. You know that you lie. You lie. You lie.
1962. The Capri?
Yeah, well, I don't know, man.
Well, I don't know. Italian pop music singer, songwriter,
Peppino.
and pianist.
Yeah, pop singer. Yeah, this is a pretty close version.
Yes,
It's actually- Takes the bump 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 stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which most of the other ones don't.
It does, and it kind of staccatos it up a bit.
Yeah, what's weird about it? Okay, so the original it does staccato it up. I agree with you 100%.
Yes.
There's one thing that doesn't staccato it up, and ironically, that's like the most staccato part of the original, I think. And that's like there was that muted guitar sound in the original where they would play and mute very, very quickly. And that guitar part in this version is like not muted, so they like swapped it. which is
Right.
It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. It's not like
It is a
that
bit.
weird, but like. It's like, oh, we made everything shorter and quicker. And it very much has that sound. You know, you get that, like, I say pizzicato. They're not all strings, but yeah, it's very staccato. Ooh, it's very cotto.
That's very ricotta.
Yeah, and horns.
Yeah, horns.
horns
and they're
now.
doing a burp, burp, burp,
Yeah,
burp, burp, burp.
just like short little blasts on those horns. Do you call them blasts?
Yeah,
I do.
I'll call them blasts.
I call them blasts. Yeah, that's
And a real like we just talked about the Crickets a bit earlier, but like a real Buddy Holly inspired vocal performance. It's like in
got
that era of
some
rock
of that,
and roll.
like, how would I describe this?
How would you describe it, Alex?
Like higher voice.
You know that you lied.
Yeah,
it is
with
that,
like a bit of that. Is it vibrato on there?
Yeah, I would call it vibrato, vibrations.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it has that sound to it for sure.
Yeah,
does
so
that,
it is
yeah.
like, as much as this is probably the safest version we're going to talk about today, it does like, and I also wonder, it could be a race record. I don't know how the Italians were about black people in 1962. It
Yeah,
could
I
also
don't know,
just
man.
be like this song hit in Italy, like it hit number 10 on the charts there, and then these guys are like, we should play that song. It's dank.
I think in 1962, at least in America, Italians were also not treated very well.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Maybe not in 62, but I don't know.
Certainly not today. We love making fun of Italians.
Yeah. There's this sound that I kind of like because
Yes.
it's like very much like an old school thing, where like a lower but not that low brass instrument does like this kind of rumbly thing.
Yeah,
It's just like buzzy sound.
And
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is like brown note levels of like of sax playing. Yeah, you don't hear that much these days, but it is
good stuff.
here.
I'm on board. And this one has a saxophone solo.
Yes.
So that's cool. But the saxophone solo is where things start to feel a little different because it feels less staccato. Everything kind of feels like it opens up leading into that solo.
Yes. Even on those drums, like literally open, you're hitting like open hi-hat or cymbals there, and it's... Yeah, we're getting a little flow here. You know me, I love a good sax solo.
Love a good sax solo, love a good flow. So that's interesting that it changes up the feeling in that way. What's also... maybe not weird, but when they come out of it, they kind of slow down. So that's like 2 minute mark to like 2:05, like across that time range, you can kind of feel the slow down.
You can feel the tempo shift, yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess it's not like, it doesn't seem purposeful, but some old recordings, you know, if you don't have,
almost
they
like
don't have the pulse, you know? You don't have
they were this close
click.
to discovering like 80s rock and roll with those drums and sax solo, and then they remembered what time they were in and like slowed down.
Like, all right, chill, everybody.
We got to calm down.
It's Italy in the 1960s.
Yeah, but yeah, you get that. You get a little bit of jangly guitar in here, and you get a definite finish on this one. You get your actual like, this is where the song concludes.
It's like a walk down and a chord at the end. And we didn't really talk about the end of the original, did we? It fades out either way.
It fades out, yeah.
So, yeah. It's, I don't know. It's another song that feels like old school pop music. I guess a little more pop, maybe.
Yeah. And just like a different, it's very much not soul and R&B. It's more in the realms of like rock and roll of that era / almost like
kind of got like a big bandy
like,
thing going on. Yeah.
With those horns especially, but it is, it's a
I don't know if there's enough horns, but there's horns.
There's certainly horns. Yeah, it's different pop music, which seems almost arbitrary, but comparing it to, like, even vocally, like, his sing-songy style here, it doesn't have that same, like, punch and desperation and, like, sorrow in it that the Benny King version has.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
There is like a real balance to be struck in the song, and people struggle with it, of the funness of the song, because it is a 60s pop song, even when it's still an R&B.
True.
And the sorrow of it. And it's like balancing those elements is tough, and some people come out on one side or the other.
Yeah, but what's interesting is you can be fairly successful without like necessarily balancing it perfectly or anything like that, because it all kind of works.
Yeah, because like even this version, it's fun. Lad. You're like, oh yeah, it's good stuff.
And according to this album, it's an Italian masterpiece. So,
hey,
or maybe he's an Italian masterpiece.
He is. I tried to Google translate what Peppino de Capri means. It means Peppino of Capri.
Oh, look, he's affectionately known as the Italian Buddy Holly.
Hey,
I don't know why I didn't read this description before.
I know, sometimes I'm just like, okay, he's some fucking Italian. All right, let's listen to the song now.
Right. He's the Italian Buddy Holly, and he's 83.
Ooh, I'm the Italian Buddy Holly. That's good. I got another follow-up line. Buongiorno, and you're Mary Tyler Moore.
That sounds right.
That's a good parody. Speaking of people who aren't doing parodies, Aretha Franklin, 1970.
Aretha. Franklin. This is also like the Queen of Soul. This is like the big hit version too. This one was number 1.
We sometimes talk about versions where like the public consciousness like shifts as to what the song is. This is one of those that establishes itself as
either shifts as to what it is or shifts to notice it exists.
Yes.
Although the other one was a decent hit.
Was a decent hit, and it's one of his like big 3. So he's got Stand By Me, Stand By Me 2, Don't Play That Song, brackets You Lied, and then he's got Spanish Harlem, which I can only assume also has the same instruments.
Boom, 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 boom. But like it's on a, I don't know, Spanish instrument.
Yeah, it's a Spanish guitar, and you could have just said Spanish guitar, and you would have.
I fucked up.
You would have landed that plane. You're like, Spanish instrument.
Oh, what do they play in Spain?
what do they play in Spain?
Oh, this
Well,
is
I'll tell
like
you who
marimba.
plays
Anyway, not important.
on this track, Alex, is also the Dixie Flyers.
Yeah, the Dixie Flyers, which looking them up just brought me to Sammy Creason's Wikipedia page,
Yeah, right.
who's, I believe, a member.
Yeah, so they're another like they're not the Wrecking Crew, but they're when you can't afford the Wrecking Crew, maybe you get the Dixie Flyers, who are
Right.
also a pretty
Similar
good studio
idea
band.
in that,
Yeah.
yeah, they're like a band, but like they exist to support other bands, kind of thing.
Yes,
Usually, I guess in the studio.
in the
but-
studio.
But
Yeah,
maybe they play live too. I don't know, man.
they play live.
But it's also
live,
Aretha Franklin. We
live.
already mentioned Queen of Soul.
Yeah.
She's a pretty big deal. And I like know 3 Aretha Franklin songs.
Yeah, well, we talked about her cover of Adele's
Rolling in the Deep.
when she was like wicked old.
We
and
did,
it wasn't,
yeah, but that was like
wasn't the best.
recent. That was like
That was very
2016 or something like that. So it's like fair enough. She's doing a good job, but also like she's up against some hot competition, and she is like in her 70s. So
Yeah,
this is
man.
prime Aretha Franklin.
That's
I
right, because we're
assume.
talking Aretha Franklin, greatest song of
1970.
all time, according to Rolling Stone, R.E.S.P.E.C.T., a cover. It's
Yeah.
called Respect. It's not actually called R.E.S.P.E.C.T., but I said it that way. I'm a fool.
Yeah.
So I know that. I now know this. I know is Son of a Preacher Man hers originally?
I don't know, man.
Okay, Alex. Well, you said you knew 3 Aretha Franklin songs. I thought I might have hit one of them. But yeah, you know her, the Queen of Soul. And that's it. That's official. Legally, she is the Queen of Soul. We'll be talking about some people with queen names later who don't legally have them. So look forward to that.
All right.
What's going on in this one, Alex? What's happening?
What is happening in this one? Okay, so this
hang on.
is
Wait,
like,
I have one more random fun fact. This
Okay.
one also hit number 11 on the pop charts, the exact same spot that the Benny King version got 8 years prior.
so this
Okay.
one hit number 1 in like R&B charts or something like that?
Yes, and 11
Yeah.
on the pop charts.
Okay. Not bad, Aretha. Not bad. I think this Aretha dame's got something to her.
She's a real up-and-comer.
Anyway. Yes. So the arrangement. The arrangement is
Yes.
totally new.
Yes.
Totally new. It's not just Stand By Me anymore. And it's kind of, I mean, there's kind of 2 parts to it, right? There's like an intro and like the parts they play with this piano, because there's this new like piano part.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this actually like pretty upbeat, like fun, to me anyway, parts with like a walking bass line.
Yes. Boom, doom, 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 boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, like, talking about that balance between drama and, like, having a good time to this pop music.
Yeah.
That piano intro is drama. Ba-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-ba-boom-dum-dum. And then you hit her singing with this, like, bouncy walking bass line, and, like, that's fun. So that's how she strikes the balance.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So that's what I thought. That was a weird sentence.
Yeah. A little jangly guitar coming in on the right headphone.
Yeah. It's probably a name for that rhythm.
Yeah, probably.
Sometimes I see or hear rather people talk about music and they're like, and this is this named rhythm. I'm like, oh shit, man. I just do the like, it sounds like a ticka ticka ticka. And they're like, actually it's called some like Latin word. I'm like, cool. So like rhythms have names is my point. But I don't know them.
You don't know it.
There's more like strings and stuff. Of course, we
More
talked about the
strings.
walking bass line. There's a few like transitions. It gets a nice like walk down on the bass. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, the bass has a lot of fun. It does like ba-dum-dum-ba-dum, ba-dum-dum-dum-dum. It's having tons of fun. We got a nice sort of gospel style backing vocals here too.
Mm-hmm.
And they're backing her up right from the start. They go, "Oh no!"
No.
And she says, "Oh no!" Like it's big energy on this too. So and it's a good song to have big energy because 1, it's a fun song, but also 2, it's a sorrowful song. So you can put that pain into those vocals, put that energy to use. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just listening to the bass line. There's like the bass, like it's a walk. We talked about the walking bass line.
Yes.
It's a walking bass line. You know what it sounds like. But what this one has is like a lot of flourishes. Even for a walking bass line. This guy is like doing I guess licks. I don't know exactly what you'd refer to it as, but like, ornamentation.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it.
Just
But-
a lot of like
Yeah.
little features here and there.
But you were talking about the backup vocals, and they largely fill the same role.
Yes. For the most part, yeah, just a different style. It's like updated, right? It's 1970 now.
Yeah. It's been almost 10 years. But they don't really, like, at least at first, it's not the same. I guess I said they fill the same role, but that's a lie. At least at the start, because they're not doing the same lines. They're not doing
because they don't
Darling, I
wait
Love You.
until the chorus, yeah. So they're coming in, they're punching up certain lines in the verse, and then they come in the same effect in your chorus. The chorus, similar to that build-up you talked about on the original, except instead of using this
They do it
sped-up vocals,
Mm-hmm.
they do just big horns. Big horns come in. They build us up.
Yeah. I mean, if you got them, use them. It's 1970.
Mm-hmm.
They had technology in 1970. They'd invented
Exactly.
technology by 1970. Unfortunately,
finally had
1962
tech.
was too early. But yeah, you come in with that brass joins in, stays on later. And then in that verse, that's where you get that I was only 17 lyrical change.
That's right. You also get a Hey Mister.
Hey, mister. Gotta
When
love
we
those
get
hey
into that
misters.
verse. Gotta love a good Hey Mister.
And oh right, yeah. Also in the second verse, they do like a call and response, but it's like with the horns.
With the horns, yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And man, and then I mentioned the piano part, right? Piano part
Yes.
comes back.
That's right.
It kind of does a breakdown into in the later section,
That's right.
just like redoes that start. So
Yeah,
and then it kind of comes back up, big outro.
Yeah, big outro. That's a classic. Pull it all away and then bring it back twice as hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how does this song feel overall? I mean, it feels more showy a little bit.
Yeah.
It feels like it's kind of got those two halves we talked about. It's got the slower piano part that's a little more
Mhm.
melancholy, and then the more like fun upbeat part. Or at least that's the way it feels to me.
Yeah, I mean, these fucking horns in the outro go like, she's like, you lied, we're having a
Yeah.
good time. She doesn't sing that part, but like,
Yeah.
feels like a good time.
So I guess, I mean, in that way, it can feel like assertive, you know? She's like,
Yes.
she's kind of taking control of this relationship. And it's like, no, you lied to me, so this
Yeah,
isn't going to happen.
she's finding power and trying to move on.
It's a little more triumphant. But there's some, perhaps.
And maybe there's some element of like we all probably have a song in some sense that reminds us of a time, whether it's a person or what
Or
have you.
whatever.
Some betrayal, some negative experience, right?
Yeah, anything.
We've all been lied to
We've all been lied to or told lies.
by the government, man.
Man. Oh, man. Saw some chemtrails the other day. I don't think chemtrails are a very popular conspiracy anymore.
No?
I don't know.
If we rebrand them, call them chemtrails.
Chemtrails.
People are like, what's
Yeah,
that?
you're like, oh, that's the new thing. I'm like, yeah, it's spelled the same, but it's completely different. Yeah, let's do it. But actually, instead of that, we should probably talk about the next version
Yes.
by Datuk, Sharifah, Aini. I don't know how to
think it's-
pronounce that.
Sharifah, maybe? Like, Sharif
Sharifah.
don't like it.
Sharifah.
the Casbah.
I don't know.
I
I,
don't know.
think that's Jewish, and this is
That's
Malaysian.
Jewish. She's Malaysian. The year is 1981.
The
A
year's
Malaysian female
1981.
singer is doing this.
Yeah, allegedly. Well, okay. So I looked her up, and had to like Google Translate the page.
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't. Did I?
Did you? The one that says she
Um,
won a talent show in 1968?
I did not Google Translate this page, but apparently, because it's just Wikipedia,
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
it calls her like a national songstress, but it also says after this other person, who is another. Oh wait, another Malaysian singer who died in like 86 or something. So at this time, it sounds like she was not the national songstress yet.
Oh,
she was a understudy to the national songstress.
An understudy to the national songstress.
But that's not a real title, so...
Yeah, so get out of here with that nonsense.
It's nonsense. Yeah, but this one, I mean, for being in 81, I'm impressed at how 80s it feels.
Yeah.
They just hit the ground running, apparently, in Malaysia. It's like there's big saturated sounds on these like electric pianos, or maybe it's a synthesizer. And it just feels just so much busier.
Yeah, and it is really hitting that like sad 80s ballad.
Yes.
Like right off the...
It feels so much sadder. Yeah, like just like wailing guitar riff.
Yeah. Even two guitars maybe.
Two guitars, yeah.
Doubled.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that synth, that...
Yeah. Oh, the synth riff. Like between lines.
Yeah.
Just like every line. She like says a thing. And then it's just...
And I mean, you know, I like the 80s, so I fucking love that synth.
Oh, yeah. I'm into it. But I was, surprised by like just going from, like, we've jumped a decade now. And it's like, it just feels so different.
We've truly like jumped. Like it is. We're in 80s now, baby.
Yeah. Kind of an interesting electric guitar sound on there. It has like a bit of a buzz on the low end.
Yeah. Do her vocals remind you of anyone?
Do you have someone in mind?
I have in mind that they remind me of someone.
Oh.
That's as far as it goes.
Yeah, but I also can't put my finger on what it is.
You also don't know who.
I see what you mean.
You know that you lied. It's like, I don't fucking know.
Did we talk about... I'm just trying to think if it's just some random artist we talked about, or if it's like someone I would know well.
Maybe. I'm trying to think. It feels to me like maybe somebody like 60s based. Like somebody like soft 60s.
Yeah. No, I can see what you mean, but I'm not sure exactly what it is. But I would say I was really trying to describe this one without just like going through it chronologically, and I found that difficult for some of the previous ones, but not so much for this one. Because I feel like I kind of get it more, and it just like it has a more melancholy or sad feel overall, and it really sounds like it's this like regretful ballad now.
Yeah, almost a bit like, not fully, but like Last Christmas.
Yeah, a little bit of that. Just like thinking back more so, which makes sense in the context of the song for sure. But it's a different mood than the other versions.
Yeah, it is like moody 80s ballad. Synth reliant, but with like some other vocalist on it, some strange one. I liked it. I like this version because it hits that era and that stimulates the part of my brain that dispenses dopamine. Alex is on the search.
I am on the
search. What are you putting in there? Who does Datuk, Sharifah, Aini sound like?
I'm just trying some old country
random names, like you know that you lied. Is it Joan
anyway,
Baez?
We'll figure it out. It's not. Someday. I just checked Joan Baez.
You just that was my first guess.
I'm trying to remember. Can't remember. It's not Dusty Springfield either.
No, is it like old Cher? It's like Sonny and Cher.
I don't think Cher Cher like always sounds like Cher though. So
that's true.
Is it Sonny?
Yep, I got you, babe.
Yeah, maybe.
No, it's not Cher either.
Okay.
I'll tell you who it's definitely not is Mariah Carey in 1991. Definitely not Mariah Carey.
Yeah, Mariah Carey, early 90s. This is from an album that released in 2020 called The Live Debut 1990.
Okay, so this is her at a place called the Tattoo Club. She recently tried to trademark the Queen of Christmas.
And Princess Christmas, which is better because
she tried quite a few.
But apparently that wasn't possible.
Yeah, like one person apparently raised. They were like, "Hang on, I've been the Queen of Christmas since fucking 1945 or something."
It's Mrs.
And
Claus.
It's
Fuck
Mrs.
no.
Claus, yeah. And then like her team of lawyers never like counter rebutted or whatever you do in trademark cases, so she just got flat out denied.
So she just like tried to file. Someone said, "Hey, actually, I've also been that," and they were like, "Well, shit."
Well, yeah,
Just
they're like,
gave
"We're
up.
stumped."
Like, all right, fair enough. I mean,
She's
honestly,
got us.
it's better than it being like a weird, long, protracted legal battle that just makes Mariah Carey look like an asshole.
Battle for the Queen of Christmas.
Quite frankly. But like, it sounds like she can probably just keep calling herself that regardless, right?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, yeah, like she can do it. She just can't like sell Queen of Christmas merchandise.
Oh
I
yeah,
guess.
maybe that's it. I think Princess Christmas is better because it rhymes.
Yeah. Christmas Princess, maybe? Who knows? A Christmas Prince. Hey.
Oh, hey. I saw an article that had all of the Christmas movies that are releasing on Netflix this year, and there's like so many.
Hey, there's
So
one
many of them.
dropped with Lindsay Lohan in it.
Yeah, and one of them is Lindsay Lohan in it.
Yeah, I've put that on our
Forget what
list
it's
for
called.
December films. But
That's good.
let's talk more about how this is a cover of the Aretha
No, let's
Franklin
talk about
version.
our own random stuff
Let's
that
talk
the
about our
audience
own
doesn't know
personal
about.
lives. So Aretha
Yeah,
Franklin.
Aretha Franklin.
She
This
covers
is
a song.
Definitely an
20
Aretha
years
Franklin
later.
cover.
Mariah Carey says, "I'm going to cover the Aretha Franklin version."
Yeah. With some unique properties, let's say. Because it's a very similar arrangement, but like feels a bit tighter, a bit faster. It's Mariah Carey, so you get some of those like showy runs.
Yes.
You know, not a ton. Like it's
Not
not insanely, but like it's kind of at weird points sometimes. Like
Yeah.
times I wouldn't expect her to jump in with a like like thing.
That's how she gets you. That's
Yeah.
how she didn't
I'm
earn
like,
the title
Whoa,
Queen of Christmas.
Mariah. Yeah, I mean she's got to be less predictable. She used to know how to do it. I don't know what happened. And it's got this organ too,
That's right.
which I mean, you know, I love it when they throw an organ in. It's got a real organ sound to it. You know, I just love it when the organ cuts in. It just feels like it's really digging into the mix.
Oh yeah.
It's just organ can do that, and it does it.
It does it pretty, and she's got R&B dudes doing the backing vocals instead
Yeah.
of ladies.
Yeah. And
So yeah, firmly rooting this in the night. Did you watch the live video of the performance?
Oh, I didn't see there was a live video of the performance.
You can see the dude with like his like Jerry curls and his gold chain, wearing a black sweater, and you're like, this is 1991, all right. Like,
Oh baby.
this man is of the era. It rocks.
Oh,
It looks
yeah.
like a fun show.
Oh yeah, man.
Craziest, like, it's a pretty solid performance. Everybody's on point. The craziest thing is when she goes so high that her voice turns into like a dog whistle.
Yeah, that's her whistle register thing. But it almost
Yeah.
sounds like she doesn't quite. I feel like I've heard her do it better.
Yeah, it
Or
sounds
more
like
accurately.
a mistake here.
Yeah, it's kind of. Did I write it? Yeah, it doesn't sound quite right. I don't have a comparison. But like I've heard her, and then she puts her finger in her ear, you know, to push her earpiece in or whatever, and then she
Pulls
does
out
that
a
like
big
really
piece
high-
of wax,
Yeah, pulls out a big piece of wax. It's like shit. That explains why I couldn't hear anything.
puts a wick in there, lights it. She's a real performer.
Now she's Shrek. Oh, here we go. The
But yeah, so
whistle.
you're around like 2:30. She gets that whistle thing going on.
Yeah, but I agree. It feels like she kind of went for it, didn't quite get it, and was like, you know what, that was fine. I'm just gonna.
It
keep
feels
going.
like when I try to go falsetto and miss.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's relatable. It's relatable. This is the
For
most
sure.
vulnerable we've seen Mariah Carey since the emancipation of Mimi. I don't know if that's true. I just know one Mariah Carey album name. Well, two.
Okay,
Because there's
that's
one
the
called The
Emancipation
Live
of Mimi.
Debut.
Hey, yeah, you got
1990.
2 under your belt now, Alex.
Yeah.
And then
probably
she
a
says
Christmas
thank you
song.
once the song's done. Like it's
Yeah.
exactly what you kind of want from a Mariah Carey version.
Yeah, it's a good, like, energetic thing. It's got the fun of the Aretha Franklin version for sure. And then they kind of add. Oh, there's another thing. There's like she like does a drop down in the second verse, kind of little mini build. So like
Oh yeah.
a little more dynamic in that way. But maybe that's just more modern for 1990.
Right. Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, Yeah, just a good, energetic live version that is very, very much a Aretha Franklin cover.
Yes. We're gonna move into the year 1997. I have here. Alex, do you know how that umlaut hits this name?
That is a tilde.
That's tilde? Shit.
First of all, it's a little squiggly. So he's Vietnamese, as far as I can tell, because Vietnamese uses like a ton of accents in their script. I don't know the exact history of it, but there seems to be like there was a Vietnamese script, and then they kind of adapted like Latin scripts to be Vietnamese or something. I'm not sure exactly how that worked. I don't know how to pronounce it, but according to the internet, it is a mid-rising glottalized vowel or whatever. And I don't speak a tonal language, so I don't know how that works.
Okay, I just don't want to call him Johnny Poop. So
yeah, so I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's like mid-rising, so I don't know if it'd be like Johnny Dong or like something like that.
Yeah, Johnny Dong or like I don't know.
Yeah, so like I might just call him Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny D. 1997. It's spelled D-U-N-G.
And then the U has a little tilde on it.
Tilde on it.
Which, like, as far as I know, in Spanish, tilde is like nasalized, but I don't think they put it on the U. I think they just put it on an N. Anyway, the point is, don't know how to say it. But I did hear something interesting from a teacher I had one time about singing in a tonal language. Because, like, singing in English, you don't really have to worry too much about stresses and so. Well, a little bit. But like you can play around with stresses and stuff. And in tonal language, you can like change the meaning of a word significantly by doing that. So I think you can like play around with like wordplay and stuff just by changing how you say the word.
Right, on an almost like musical level.
Yeah. And because music, yeah, you're literally changing the tone, right? In some cases. So I don't know how that works, but it seems like a really interesting concept, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's something I wish I knew more about.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of interesting concepts, this version, which has the feeling of like a karaoke kind of style hit.
Kind of.
Like really brings to mind like a CRT with like one of those music videos playing on it.
Yeah, with the lyrics coming by.
And the lyrics come out in this. It is so strongly accented in that way. It's I don't know. It's quite phenomenal in that sense that it takes me to like nostalgia for something I've never had in my life.
Yeah, it's an interesting rendition. That there are some similarities with the Datuk version.
Yes,
they're both from Southeast Asia. Not that the countries are like that close, but you know. They're both in Southeast Asia. And they both have a kind of saturated feeling to them.
Yeah. This one sounds like a soft focus lens, you know?
Yes. And I mean, looking at the album art, it checks out, right?
Yes.
So it really brings you to that place. He kind of has more of like a crooning type sound.
Yeah, he's singing quite deep. And it's like...
Yeah. This one also has a saxophone.
Hell yeah.
It's mostly in the back. It might actually be a synthesizer, sax synth, but it might just be like really processed.
Yeah.
But I guess the really interesting thing about this one is that he sings both verses twice.
That's right.
But the second time in, I assume, Vietnamese.
Yeah, I'm assuming Vietnamese.
Which is interesting. Unfortunately, I think it makes the song a bit long.
Yeah, we're at 4:34 for this one. It is certainly the longest.
It's not actually the longest.
Oh, you're right.
But it's up there. Unfortunately,
up there.
Because it's literally repeating it. Like, I get why you do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just as a monolingual person, it just feels a bit long. And I don't think his voice is like quite interesting enough to support a long version that is in this way more focused on the vocals.
Fair. I liked his voice on this.
Okay. I mean, it's fine. It's got a nice voice. I just didn't think...
It's a nice voice. It's quite unlike any of the other artists we're talking about.
That's also true.
And then hearing him, like, you might be right, maybe don't double up, but I think hearing him hit it in Vietnamese was very cool.
It is also, it is cool to have that in there. The guitar was a bit odd.
Yeah, the guitar kind of rips in out of nowhere. Yeah.
I guess it doesn't feel out of place or anything, but like it's got quite a bit of like breaking up going on in the guitar. But this is another one that has like that melancholy feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there was, because it is like Vietnam versus Malaysia. Like I wonder if the other version influenced in any way.
Yeah, I'd be curious. But yeah, it is like you said. It's very processed. Like that sax is highly processed. There's like these chimes and like this sort of light belly synth. Like it's all
it's a lot of like really bright sounds
put through the
like,
filter,
just saturated. Yeah, kind of EPs and synthy stuff. And nope, that's all I had.
Yeah, no, it is like
feels more
strikingly
soundscapey, I guess,
representative of like a soundscape, an era, a style, a place. It is pretty interesting for that reason. I think I like the little chime riff that.
Yeah, I guess that's also kind of like what the synth did in the Datuk version.
Yeah, very different synths though.
Very different, yeah.
But still definitely synth heavy.
Yeah, it is, I guess, definitely a very interesting version. I would never accuse it of being anything else.
Yeah. But you're right, maybe you could tighten it up a bit.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, at least for me, just listening to it, I lose interest. Maybe I'm just impatient right now.
Fair enough.
I ate too much sugar or something. Like, gotta do the next thing.
Got to do the next thing. And that next thing, my man, is Beverley Knight in 2016.
He said, darling, I love you. And I know that you lie. Darling, I need you. Yeah, you know.
2016. Beverley Knight's an English singer. Who sings more in the like American soul style.
Yeah, boy.
And has an MBE. She is a member of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire.
Oh, Mr. Excellent.
So, I mean, I think that's the closest thing to an actual queen we've got on this list.
That's right. She's at least met a queen.
Yeah, although Bruce Springsteen has identified as King Bee in the past.
This is true.
We did hear him do that. Anyway, Beverley Knight, also an Aretha Franklin cover.
Yes.
For sure. This one's also on the long side. In fact, this is the longest version. It's almost 5 minutes long. But I just thought that her voice carries this one a little better.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's mostly keys and her singing.
Yeah.
And that can be a recipe for disaster. But when you have these kind of pipes, you can get away with it. Because this is very good.
Yeah, and she's got other stuff in the back. She's got backup singers. She's got horns. You know, it's also, it doesn't have the like upbeat nature of the Aretha Franklin version, so it does feel quite a bit different. It feels more on the melancholy side, and she's singing pretty hard too. And she's got some of that like regret sound. Yeah.
Absolutely. And she's got a great range, and she's punching energy into this melancholy version.
And I think also some Mariah Carey, well, I'd say some Mariah Carey influence, but that hadn't been released yet, so I wonder if that was available in some form previously.
Well, yeah, she might have,
like maybe a bootleg or just a different live album or something.
But I think that's also just the style of...
Maybe, yeah, that might just. Oh, I'm just only saying that because of the organ mostly.
Yeah, that's fair, organ. But I think that you get. I mean, that could be coincidence.
True, just like you have an organ player in your band because you're like a soul/R&B band. It's like, yeah, okay, I guess he needs something to do, or they need something to do. I should.
Yeah.
But yes, and the other thing, again, to compare to our friend Johnny, the pace, I thought, maybe matched the length a bit more, because it's not just longer, it's also slower.
Yeah.
To match that, as opposed to just repeating yourself, which is, again, interesting in its own way. But makes
for
it
sure. It's about like big, heavy, like powerful singing, powerful, like just notes. Like even the horns are like bah, 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 bah. Dun, dun, dun. Like it's all about this like sort of slow march rather than something a little quicker.
Yeah, and feels a little more dynamic than I guess a lot of the other versions, which vocally can be like a little even compared to this one, at least. Like this one's got like big, like sweeping highs,
high highs, low lows. Yeah,
exactly. So they're really going for the dynamics, I think.
Absolutely, and we like sit like even at the end of that chorus, she's like you lied, and we like sit in that, and it's like okay, we're gonna it's dramatic.
We got to think about it. Yeah, very dramatic.
Think about that.
Yeah.
No, this one's well built.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good stuff.
Anything else? Yeah, I mean, this is a cool like drop down for that second verse.
Yeah,
and to like break down to just back to the piano and vocals, and then in the end, which I think happened in the Mariah Carey version, if I remember that correctly.
Oh, I think you are remembering.
Am I making that up?
Alex.
Yeah, she drops down the second verse as a little bit. Yeah. And then like just goes wild for the ending, but also in her style, which was a little less of the fun side of it, a little more.
Yes.
Of the, thoughtful, regretful stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, this is one you can really be upset about this song playing. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
But you can't be upset about Bruce Springsteen in the year 22 because he's still kicking, baby.
Oh, you know that you lied. Oh, you know that you lied. Darling, you know that you lied.
Yeah. No, I mean, some people are upset, but that's like ticket prices, and that's a whole other issue.
Yeah, that's upset at Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
Something's got to happen. You heard about this Taylor Swift fiasco?
I don't know the details, but I know there's an antitrust thing happening.
That's good, because they now have shuttered out general sales on Taylor Swift, so you can only get in if you've got a pre-sale code. Which, I mean, those pre-sale codes are not well-guarded secrets, as anyone might know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure we got pre-sale for Springsteen, so...
Yeah, we were on a list, but honestly, if you'd gone the day you were looking at tickets and just Googled Bruce Springsteen pre-sale, like Seattle or whatever, like...
Oh,
you'd have found the code. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because people post them on sites, because if you don't have access to wherever that pre-sale information is, you're like, hey,
yeah, I guess I forgot that it was a code and thought that was just like a link or something, but I guess links can be shared too.
Links can be shared, and it's not really an effective system. It's a false security to let Ticketmaster jump up your prices.
Well, I won't make any accusations.
I will.
In a public
Come
forum.
At me, Ticketmaster.
But, all right, Bruce Springsteen, he covered this song. That's why we're talking about it.
Yes.
That's why we know this song exists. Is because Bruce Springsteen made this album of covers.
That's right.
It's our boy
pretty
Bruce.
Much karaoke. All right, let's get to our final verdict.
Yeah. Old soul songs, possibly because he himself is an old soul.
Hey, look at you.
He's an old guy.
He's an old guy.
Anyway.
Yeah, this one's just like a fun time. This one's full on like a full time.
Yeah, they really go for the fun thing. You know, it's a big kind of big version. You know, it's got the whole band out.
Yeah.
I used the wrong hole here. Hang on, let me fix my typo. Got the whole band out. There's plenty of like brass and of course the guitar and everything. So it's like rock and roll band plus. You might even call it huge, but maybe not. I mean, that's up to you. Yeah, and it's. I would say more in the Aretha Franklin style. It doesn't have like the bass line from the original. It does the walking bass line.
Yeah. But instead of having that piano opening, it's just that big bombastic string descent.
Yeah. It doesn't do that piano part. So it doesn't have that same trade-off. And then he has a spoken word section near the end.
Yes, he does.
I remember those summer nights down by the shore as the band played with you in my arms and we moved across the floor, that floor.
Yes.
Then, darling, you went away. Well, all I've got to say is I don't care if you lied. Let's dance.
Let's dance. So he does kind of undercut the song.
Yeah, his idea, like there's this regret and looking back, but it's also like, oh, it was such a long time ago, you know? That's what I'm getting out of it, because obviously, as mentioned, Bruce Springsteen, old guy. He's in his 70s.
Yeah, I guess maybe he is in conversation with the age of himself in the song here, too, where he's like, hey.
So now he's like, hey, you know what? It was a long time ago. Maybe it's time we can forget about it, because all that matters is let's dance and let's have a fun time. And I think that checks out a lot, like, with the other things I've heard Bruce Springsteen say about mostly how he likes to have fun. Mostly how his idea of music was like, how can we have fun with this?
And even on this, he said he wanted to make an album where he just sang. So he's like, I legit just want to have a good time here.
Yeah.
And then release it because I like these songs.
And maybe he has arthritis or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And having listened to this album a couple times, I do think like the better performances are on the songs where he just kind of like cuts loose and is like, it's a big fun song. We're going to have big fun with it. It's like, that's what makes this one play. I think that's why I released it as a single too, is because it's got good energy behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely, it's, and like this, like kind of pseudo live thing going on too. Like he's talking to either the audience or the band or whatever.
Yeah. Well, did you watch the music video?
I did watch the music video.
Yeah. So I don't know if that is just a video or if that was the actual performance. But it's straight up just Bruce Springsteen in a room with like 20 fucking people. And he's like, let's get the band going.
Like a microphone. Let's go. Let's get the band going. You know that you lied. Yeah.
Darling, I love you. And like, I watched that. I just thought, like, how fucking cool must it be to be in that room?
To be in that room, that would be very cool.
Just to be like, okay, Bruce Springsteen's telling me to fucking play strings or whatever I'm doing here. And it rocks. Like, what a good time. What a good time.
Yeah. It's also like, I know there was like was there actual movie, a Western Stars movie that like Springsteen co-directed? Yeah, I feel like he's been just like, he bought a bunch of film or something. He's been like filming stuff.
He's like, I gotta use up this film.
Like you can see it's like a really wide aspect ratio.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so I believe that's like movies aspect ratio.
That checks out to me. That's funny to think that he's just like, well, I got all this film lying around.
Yeah. Gotta keep filming stuff in black and white. Or I don't know. But it really seems like he's a bit more into movies than I thought, which is cool.
That's cool. Hell yeah. I'd watch movies with Bruce Springsteen. What a cool guy. We should get him on the show. He's done podcasts before.
Get him on the show. Let's see. He had a podcast with Obama. We've definitely got as much pull as Obama, right?
Easily.
He's not even president anymore.
Yeah, right? Like,
He's
come on.
some guy. Okay, one more note about this song. I do like, at the end, he does his whole monologue saying, I don't care if you lied, let's dance, and then finishes the song by shouting, you lied repeatedly. It's like, doesn't sound like you're over it, Bruce.
Yeah, it's very like mixed messages.
Keep mentioning it. Like, I want to dance, but just let it go.
You keep bringing it up. Are we moving on or are we not? Can I play the song?
Can we play the song? Well, we know Bruce Springsteen wants to play the song and he wants to dance.
Yeah, this one fully cranks the knob to fun instead of like sorrow.
Ultimately, you just can't tell Bruce Springsteen to not play a song. I don't think he'll listen.
I think probably he will play that song.
Yeah. Anyway, and that's Bruce Springsteen.
That's Bruce Springsteen, and so now it's time for our final verse. We got 3 categories: the worst version, the best version, and the version that could convince Benny King to let you play that song.
All
right. Alex, what's the worst version of this?
What's the worst version? I mean, there were some decent versions on it. I think I'm going to give it... I'll probably give it to Johnny. Just
undeserved.
Undeserved. The length killed it for me.
I think that's a horror. I think it goes to Peppino de Capri. Like,
his was definitely up there. It just doesn't have like much.
And it's not bad. It's just not as exciting as any other version.
It's not Aretha Franklin and like any of the Aretha Franklin inspired versions.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like it came in too quick, and it couldn't be as good as it could have been. But all right, Alex, what's the best version?
It's the best version. I think my favorite was probably Beverley Knight.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that.
Really strong voice and the feeling, shifting it to be a little more melancholy overall. I thought was a strong move.
Yeah, it like refines the song in the genre of soul that it originally started in to like a fine point.
And I mean, obviously, her performance is just really good. Did I say that already? Still true.
I think you did. But yeah, great one. Like your problem with Johnny Dong was too long.
And this one's even longer.
This one's even longer, but it fills that space for you. So hey, that makes sense to me. Yeah, Beverly Knight, great version. Alex, what's gonna let that song be played again?
I feel like if anyone is gonna let that song be played again, it's got to be the Springsteen version because he's the most convincing, and he's like, hey. Let's play this song. It doesn't matter anymore. It's been such a long time.
Yeah, he throws in the monologue to be like, hey, enough time's passed. But also, I'm still going to hammer on about how you fucking lied.
How you fucking lied. You still lied. But I also want to dance.
Yeah, I think that's the one. The full fun, having a good time. Come on, Benny King. Don't be such a stuck-up corpse. He's dead. So,
yeah.
If anybody can bring him back, it's Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah. 2015? Okay. Ooh, 76. Anyway.
Does it for our final verdicts. You got a similar opinion, different opinion. Want to talk about a version we didn't talk about? Hit us up on Twitter. #CoverMePod, @JakeTheCressy, @SmoutWiseGuy. Send us your comments, questions, concerns, suggestions for future episodes. Be sure to rate and review us. We're on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, your favorite podcasting apps. Get us over that 4-star mark on Spotify. I don't know where we are, but I imagine we're not over the 4 stars. So go on there. Go to the mobile app and do it. You can email us at covermepod@gmail.com. Talk to us there. And tell your friends, family, and neighbors about us, because you are the marketing budget. That does it for today's episode of Cover Me. And as we always say on Cover Me, don't play that Cover Me. It brings back memories of days I once knew.